We do? Oh, so I think Michelle wanted us to be over there, so.
Okay,
All right.
great. I'm just gonna Okay, so that was really fun, and it was a great practice. And if you saw us gesturing, you probably really enjoyed that, but you were probably also wondering what on earth we were saying. So thanks for that dry run. That was super fun. Welcome to Friend-A-Thon 2017, which we're officially starting now with sound.
There
sound
we go. We can do that. We can do this.
I like this. I like this. This is good. All right, so they're cheering in the background. We have sound. Okay. All right, well, that was a good way to loosen us up.
There we go.
All right, so thanks everybody for joining us. We're doing something a little bit fun and different here at the end of the year as we celebrate what's gone on in the campaign, as we look ahead to what we're going to be doing in 2018. And yeah, so do you want to start and review all the amazing stuff that you said just a minute ago?
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Michelle Whitaker. I'm the campaign manager for Brandy Brooks for County Council at Large, and this is...
I am Brandy Brooks, running for Montgomery County Council at Large.
And we're here today for Friend-A-Thon 2017.
There you go.
This is our opportunity to really have an opportunity to thank you, our supporters, who have been part of the campaign, part of this people-powered campaign for a democracy that is really focused on the issues that matter most to our communities. Many of the issues that have driven us to be more active and engaged with our neighbors, with our friends, to really ask serious questions and to say, what do we need from our elected officials, but also how can we be more part of what's going on in our local government? And so we're really excited. And I know this is something that's really core to you, why you're running, right?
Absolutely. So what I do, my job by day is an organizer. And when I think about what our government and what our democracy can look like, it's based on that organizing model, on this idea that we don't just leave government to, the professionals or a select few, but that it's both the right and the responsibility of all of us to shape what happens in our communities. And it's about building power. It's about bringing us all together to be able to direct what happens in policy, what happens in systems and institutions here at the local level. And that local level is so important because we often don't realize, we spend a lot of time talking about what goes on in Washington, what goes on in Congress, what goes on in the White House, but we don't spend as much time talking about what goes on in City Hall or what goes on at the County Council. And these things have direct day-to-day impact on our housing, our transportation, our schooling, our economy. And this is the easiest place to get involved, is at this local level.
Yeah. And so that's why we're excited to be with Brandy, to be part of Brandy's campaign. I'm an active member of Team Brandy. We've got folks back here. Folks, wave. Members of Team Brandy who are active. We're doing, along with our Friend-A-Thon, this is an active phone banking that we're doing and postcard writing. We've been starting to send out these lovely postcards that are starting to go out into the mail to folks. This is, again, an opportunity for us to send these postcards to Montgomery County residents to let them know about Brandy's campaign and how they can get involved. They're being sent by Montgomery County residents to Montgomery County residents to say, here's what Brandy's campaign is all about, and here's how you can get involved. If you'd like to get some packs, we're sending out a pack of 10 to anyone that would like to send them to their neighbors and friends. You can get a pack of these and we'll be happy to help you out with that. So it's a great way for you to do some friend-to-friend, peer-to-peer engagement with the campaign.
Yeah, and if you want to get one of those packs, you can always, if you're watching this on Facebook, you can always drop us a message, the campaign on Facebook. You can send us an email at info@brandyformoco.com, and we will definitely get that information right out to you. Because one of the things that we talk about in our movement is that it's not just me, it's not just our campaign team, it's all of us working to share the vision that we have for our communities and to get other people excited and engaged about how we put that vision into practice. So we'd love to have you send out some postcards if you're excited and also a supporter of Team Brandy.
Yeah. So Brandy, talk a little bit about what's the main thing that we've done throughout our campaign to kind of get folks kind of aware and engage people, have those kind of frank discussions about what are the issues that are impacting different communities.
Yeah, so it's a lot of person-to-person conversation. We go out to different events around the county, events that are hosted by various groups, that are various community organizations, and we talk to folks there. We also, one of my favorite kinds of events are house parties. And, that's where we were able to get together a smaller group of folks, anywhere between, as few as 5, as many as 20 people, to come together and talk about, again, what we want to see happen in the county, what we're doing in the campaign, how people can be part of this movement, and what it means, what's possible when we build a grassroots people-powered democracy. And house parties are, again, one of my most fun things to do, because you're in this more intimate setting, someone's opened up their home to you, and you're actually able to just have these quieter conversations. Again, a lot of times we think of political discourse and it's like talking points, shouting back and forth. But what we get to see in doing these house parties and having these conversations is that it's really about tapping into, like, what do people love about the place that they live? What do they want to make better about the place that they live? What are the dreams they have for themselves and their families? And it's a whole different tone of conversation.
That's awesome. So I want to take a quick selfie of us doing this. So here we go.
Nice.
To send out to people, because again, this is a part of our Friend-A-Thon. It's sharing with folks to say, like, we're out here and we're doing this, letting people know that this is happening, letting them know that the opportunities to get engaged with the campaign. And it's that easy. Just take out your cell phone. If you're on your computer, on your laptop, get your laptop or your cell phone out, send a quick message, tag the campaign. We're Brandy for MoCo. That's Brandy, the number 4, and then MOCO. And tag us in a message. Tell us, why you support the campaign. What are the core issues that are happening in your community? We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear why you support the campaign. We'd love to hear, what issues, you're really active and engaged with that you'd like to see, to hear more about Brandy, what her positions are and how she's working on those issues too. So those are all opportunities that we want to engage with you. And we have engaged with a lot of folks on those around issues, whether we're talking about public transportation, affordable housing, food justice issues, climate issues. There's so many issues that are really important that impact us at a local level that we're working on, and we want to hear from you too and be actively involved in those.
Yeah, and they think it's important to talk about this moment that we have here in the county, and what it means also in the context of our country. So, Montgomery County is this amazing, again, very large county, over 1 million people, full of a lot of amenities, but also a county that's really struggling with some serious inequity when it comes to housing, when it comes to education. County that is growing and trying to figure out how it manages that growth. How do you balance development with the needs of infrastructure, with quality of life for folks who live here? And, it's trying to understand it. Montgomery County is home to some of the most diverse cities in the country. And honestly, like a lot of other places in the United States, we are wrestling with how we actually become a community that's truly welcoming and supportive of everyone in our county. And these are the issues that we're excited to be working on. And this is this real kind of enormous political moment when you look at the national scene. A lot of folks have been engaged, animated, sometimes enraged by what they've seen going on in the White House, going on in Congress, and are really looking to get involved and to see how they can make a change. Like, you can look at the stuff that's been happening nationwide, and it can feel really overwhelming, and you can end up feeling really powerless. Like, what on earth can I possibly do in the face of this? And I think folks are looking to the opportunity that you have here in local government to show a counter to what we're seeing coming out of the national levels, to show that we can build just communities, that we can value diversity and equity, and that we can put those things first, that we can be a model back to the nation of how you resist the things that we don't want to see happen to our communities and the people that we love, and how you can put forward a new vision. This election is also really important because it is the first midterm election after Donald Trump became president. It's also an election where pretty much every seat, almost every seat in Maryland is up for election. We've got the governor's race, we've got races for our state senators and delegates, and we've got a lot of county races going on. So how people get engaged at this moment in our county's politics will shape what happens in our communities for the next several years. And it's a really tremendous opportunity to delve in and to show what we can do with our power as residents of this county.
Cool. I mean, there's just so many opportunities for us, and I think we really need to think about the amazing opportunity that we have, especially thinking of residents for the Montgomery County election. Every Montgomery County resident, when they go to vote, and important reminder, remember the date, for the primary election, it's June 26, 2018. Mm-hmm. Mark it on your calendars, June 26, 2018. That's the date of the primary election, particularly for the Democratic primary. So that, that's the opportunity that you have to elect a majority of the county council. You're voting for a majority of the county council. Mm-hmm. And so there's an important vote that we have, and everyone should take the time to learn about the candidates that are running, learn about the opportunities, not only for, the 4 at-large county council seats that everyone across the county they're voting for, but also for your district county council member that's running, and then also county executive, and how all of those persons will work together to represent your county and to represent the interests of the county and the various communities throughout our county. And so this is a really amazing opportunity for every resident. And so it's an opportunity for us to take the time, especially particularly in the county council race, the at-large race. There are so many candidates that are running. This is the time for us to take the opportunity to really learn about the candidates and understand who are the candidates that really are going to represent our interests and be a voice for the community. And that's where Brandy is, someone who I know has the ear for the community, someone who's going to be actively listening, but also actively asking us to participate in the process. Mm-hmm. And that's unique. That's what we need in terms of having a local government that's going to be really active and moving people forward. Mm-hmm. If we want to change what happens in our local government, if we want to move things forward, if we want to have the issues that matter most actually take hold in our local government, we need to be actively there and visible to our elected leaders. And Brandy understands that she wants to, if she's going to be in elected office and advancing policies, she needs you. She wants you there by her side, moving those policies forward, because it's about participation together, all of us working together to make a change and make a difference. And I think that's the most exciting part about being, looking at government differently. It's not about just electing someone, as you said so many times. It's not just electing someone and hoping for the best. It's recognizing the responsibility we each have in shaping the policies that affect us every day. And I think that's the great opportunity that we have in this election. And so that's, again, another reason why to check out the policies. Go to brandyformontgomery.com to learn more about the policy positions, and then you can read on those. And then, because you're so excited and you're like, Brandy's such an amazing candidate and we want to get her into office and we have this great opportunity, then you click on that blue button that says donate and donate to Brandy Brooks today.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And one of the other things that I want to bring to politics is, there's a lot of serious stuff going on and we want to take this seriously, but I also just want to bring a different feel to the way that we think about getting involved in politics and government. Honestly, we tend to think about it as being pretty boring. We tend to think about it as being sort of something that wonky folks do. And that if you do get involved, it's just like, it's kind of a grudge and a grind. And I think sometimes when you work on campaigns, it just feels like it's sort of grinding it out, like door, 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 door. And we'll do that. Like, we're on the phones, we're going to be out canvassing, continuing over the course of this winter, even on a cold day like today and the days that are coming. But it's also about, I think, when I organize, when I do the work that I've been doing in environmental justice and social justice, it's about community. It's actually about having fun with each other and building relationships and getting to do the things that give us joy. So one of the reasons that we're doing stuff like this is because we want to show a different face, kind of a different side of what politics can be. And it's kind of funny to me. I think the very first call time that we did, and the very first video that we did for our campaign was, I think, back in June of this year. And we decided to do a little video on candidate call time. And Michelle, if you would like to go and find the sheet. We actually still have the sheet hanging up on the wall here, talking about our candidate call time. And, you know, this was our very first, you know, the Brandy Brooks Power Posse presents candidate call time. It was very exciting. And I think we did a little bit of a, you know, Blair Witch style, like cam. It was a little crazy at the time. But part of what we wanted to show is giving folks this sense of, what does it look like to be on a campaign? What does it look like to do this work? And then also, how do we bring ourselves and our spirit and energy to what we're doing? And, you know, Michelle, some of you may know this, but some of you may not, is my sister, as well as my campaign manager. And so that makes her doubly awesome. But, you know, one of the things that we know about us and our family is that we're goofy people too. We're silly. We like to joke and have fun and be a little nutty. And, you know, I love being able to bring that side of my personality into the campaign as well,
right.
To show that all of us can like bring our whole selves to what it means to be part of our communities, to what it means to be part of our government. And, you know, so we've been doing some fun things when it comes to social media, when it comes to different kinds of events. Our most recent fundraiser and event that we had was a karaoke party up in Gaithersburg. And again, that's not your typical campaign event that you would see, but we loved it because it gave us a chance. I mean, we had a great time. We closed out the evening. A bunch of the women who were there at the event were singing "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper. And it was just this really cool moment out of so many awesome moments that we have in the campaign where we get to, you know, just be a little bit more relaxed and welcome people into the idea of politics in a whole new way.
And that's, I mean, along with the karaoke, the Power Play karaoke, we did in October, we had Power Play
quiz night,
which was a whole lot of fun. I was able to be the quiz master for the evening, which was fantastic.
And I hope that at some point during this broadcast, you will do one of the commercials.
We will be doing some
commercials. Are amazing.
Yes, we'll be doing We'll work them into it. Yeah. But I mean, those are the things that a part of, you know, being in this campaign is connecting with people. And, you know, we're serious about moving forward a people-powered democracy, and that is recognizing the whole person, and we are joy-filled people, and so we want to bring that into what we do here as a campaign. And so we're excited to have those opportunities to do that, which is one reason why we're doing a Friend-A-Thon, because, you know, it's about bringing friends into the campaign and having awesome opportunities to engage with different people. And that's why, you know, we have folks in the background who are making calls, who are calling folks throughout the county to tell them about Brandy's campaign. This is, you know, this is one of the many phone banks that we've done throughout the campaign. We do canvases. I want to bring on real quick a moment, if I could, Carol. I want to bring on our events coordinator and volunteer coordinator, who also happens to be our treasurer and mom.
Exactly. You're like, I want to introduce you to our volunteer and events coordinator. No, her name is Carol. But yes, so as you can see, this is a family affair, and it's been really fun.
It's been a lot of fun, and it's been fun because supporting Brandy is actually an amazing thing to do. I heard her mention that going around Montgomery County and meeting people is really exciting, and I find that too. And I think every member of our team. Every volunteer here finds it exciting when we come and Brandy speaks and we share our vision for this county. She shares her vision, and we can see that so many people are moved and engaged. And so that's exciting for me to see that our community is actually really a lot bigger than our home, our neighborhood, and even this part of our county. So yes, as volunteer coordinator, I'm just gonna put in a plug there. I heard Michelle and Brandy say before, if you'd like to get engaged in this campaign, it's really important. Let us know. Go to www.brandyformontgomery.com. Look up volunteering, donate of course, but volunteer so that you can be engaged and make this a Montgomery for all.
Cool.
Thank you.
Upcoming election.
And that's just one of our members of our core team. We have another member of our core team who's on the phone right now. Claudia, we'll bring her up in a little bit for her to talk. I want, if I can, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to try and share a picture of, nope, not that. Technology friends.
Okay.
We're live. We're doing this. We're doing it live. No, we're not doing that.
Hi, my name is Kristen Austin, and I'm a volunteer.
Oh, great. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're doing a phone banking event tonight.
Oops. So this is a picture of our team.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk a little quickly about our core team that's been active within the campaign. There you have, from left to right, you have Kenny Wilson, who is our friend and fundraiser. Claudia Barragan, who is our policy director. Brandy. You have Carol McSween Brooks, who is our events coordinator, volunteer coordinator, and treasurer. And then myself, Michelle Whitaker, who is the communications director and campaign manager. And so, we've made the core of our team. We also have one of our, we've started to expand into district captains. And so I want to give a shout out to Zola Shaw, who's our district captain for District 3, which covers part of the Rockville area and Gaithersburg area. And so she's helping to, bring a community voice, and when we're planning events in those areas, she can help coordinate those, but also just to connect us to folks within the area of within District 3. And if you're interested in becoming a district captain, that's a great way to get connected within the campaign. Again, you can email us at info@brandyformoco.com and let us know that if you're interested in being a district captain and serving that role, or other roles that we do have. Brandy, do you want to talk about some of the other roles that we might have in the campaign?
Sure. So one of the things that I do for my job is training of other organizers. And I got to do a training with other folks who are interested in running for office and working on campaigns across Maryland a couple of weeks ago. And folks were asking, well, what is it that volunteers can do on a campaign? Is it just phone banking and canvassing? And the answer is definitely not. You can absolutely phone bank, canvass, write postcards, do a bunch of things, but basically almost any skill that you have can be applied to the campaign in some way. Whether you're really good at putting on events, whether you are really good at data, whether you love working with numbers and financials, if you love to cook or to do, there's sort of like all these different ways that you can contribute your skills to the campaign. And one of the things that we love doing when we get in touch with folks who want to volunteer is kind of getting to know them and finding out, what is it that you love to do? What's really exciting for you? What are the issues that you're involved in, or the things that you want to work on? Do you want to be part of a policy team? Do you want to be part of an outreach team? Do you want to be one of the folks who's helping with our admin work? And there's so many different kinds of opportunities to volunteer on a campaign that are beyond what we normally think of, the door knocking and the phone banking. And even in those two pieces, there's a lot of logistics that go on with every door knock and with every phone bank. And having folks to help us with everything from the logistics to the FaceTime are the kind of things that you can do when working on a campaign. And then you can really see how these things work and how they all come together when someone runs for office. And so, we get really, it's fun and it's exciting. I think this is my first campaign, obviously running for office. And so this is the first time that I've run for elected office. And just that experience in itself of being able to see all of the different parts and pieces that go together when you are putting on this massive campaign, and especially when you're doing something like that at large, it's tremendous. And there's all of these new language that I'm learning, new pieces that I'm learning about that I find really exciting. And I have a really good time. So if you want to learn about something new, find new ways to apply your skills, this is just a fantastic opportunity to do that. And we really encourage folks to get in touch with us and to talk about what is it that you love doing and how do we use the campaign as an opportunity for you to be able to do some of that in a new way and in a new space.
Awesome. Thank you. So, there you go. Whoops. Did I lose my video now? One second. Turn the camera on. Oh, there we go. Live technology, folks. Thank you.
Exactly.
So let's go back and talk about house parties real quick, because I want to give a shout out to all of the folks that have given
amazing house parties. Absolutely. Please.
Yeah.
So
so we've, one of our first house parties was actually right here.
Yes.
And it was we had I was hosting this along with my husband Doogie. Shout out to Doogie. And that was really fun because we have a young daughter, London, and we wanted to make it a kid-friendly event because we have many of our friends here in the neighborhood. They have young children. We wanted to do an event, but we knew people you need to be able to have an event and provide childcare, and so we were able to do that and basically said okay. Everybody, for the folks in the neighborhood, bring your friends over, bring your kids over. All of our kids could have a play date while folks got to hear from you and talk about the campaign. And it was wonderful because it was a great chance for my daughter to get to play with all of her friends and for folks in the neighborhood to hear from Brandy. Those are great ways, to have a house party that's kind of a relaxed atmosphere, can be open to the community, and can really help to get people be aware of what's going on. Then one of our next house parties was in Silver Spring, and that was hosted by Keisha Morris. And that was a great and intimate gathering that was really wonderful to just kind of hear perspectives and kind of get an understanding of what issues were impacting her and her family, and that was wonderful to do that. And then we had one in Tacoma Park.
Oh yeah.
And that was Cynthia Terrell and Rob Ritchie. We're thankful for them hosting that party. And it was really fantastic. A great turnout. Cynthia does a wonderful spread there all the time. But it was really kind of great to hear a variety of different perspectives and questions about what issues were impacting them, from climate issues, education issues. I'm trying to remember everything that there was lots of different discussions. It was a wonderful opportunity. What were some other kind of highlights of some of the house parties that we've had then?
Yeah, well, we do house parties all over. So we've been in, here in Wheaton, down in Tacoma Park, but also up in, out in Kensington, in Rockville, in Clarksburg, in kind of the Colesville area of Silver Spring. So we try and get around the county as much as we can with our house parties and want to continue expanding and doing even more up county. One of my favorite house parties, actually, interestingly, was a house party that took place in DC with one of our advisory team members and supporters there. And again, because we all kind of have friends across the borders, she had a group of supporters from around the region, including a number of Montgomery County residents who were just really excited about how we work together regionally to support progressive candidates and progressive change in this area. And I think we saw some of that when it came up to the elections in Virginia, that we all really understand that we don't just do this state by state or county by county, but what happens in other jurisdictions affect us. So there were a lot of these folks from both DC and Maryland who were really excited about what we were doing here in Montgomery County. And it was also a group of a lot of folks who were activists and organizers and involved in different groups here. So we really got to talk about what does it look like to bring that organizing perspective into a campaign, and how do we do that, and what are the kind of changes that we want to see through that. So that was another one of my favorite, just really fun parties. One of our most recent house parties, again, took place here in Wheaton with some of our neighbors here in the area, and just had this just great, huge house party with over 20 folks and just like a tremendously diverse crowd. And when you think about Wheaton too, a lot of times when folks talk about fundraising and they talk about what it looks like to have political donors, they don't necessarily think about neighborhoods like Wheaton, and they don't necessarily think about being able to have a multiracial, multi-generational gathering of community members to come and to talk about how we work together to build power and to change our community together. Hi, how you doing? You want to say hi to all the folks who are on the live video? What do you think? So my niece, London, has come in, and we were just talking about what it looks like, again, to have family, to have kids involved in the campaign. And London goes along with us a lot of places. And so it's very fitting that she should come in and say hi on the live stream, because she's one of my best campaigners.
You're right here.
Yes.
And you're right here.
I am, that's right. And you're right there.
Yeah.
And, again, when we think about what we love about Montgomery County, it's being a place where we can have our family and thrive here. It's being in a place where we can build our community and our homes here. And yes, it's being in a place where even 3.5-year-olds can get involved in politics in a new and fun way.
Okay. Why don't you take off your jacket and I can come back, okay? Yeah, so it's great. We've had some really fantastic house parties and fantastic folks that we've been able to connect with across the county. And we're looking forward. We have some great house parties coming up. Our first house party, is January 6th. The first house party of 2018.
2018, yes.
Right around the corner.
I know, it's so crazy.
Yeah, first house party of 2018 is on January 6th. And that will be in Silver Spring, and that's hosted by Alyssa Layton, and we're excited to be there in Silver Spring. If you want to RSVP for that one, you can visit our Facebook page, and you can see the RSVP link for that. There's also an Eventbrite link for that within the Facebook page, but we'll also have that updated on our website shortly. We're just, there's a technical issue happening right now. We'll fix that. But you can also see we've been posting links to the RSVPs on Twitter and Facebook. And so you can RSVP for those to participate. Then we'll have another house party in Tacoma Park, what's the next one?
Yep, Tacoma Park.
Oh, Tacoma Park on January 15th.
Yep,
on January 15th. And then we have a Rockville house party on January 21st. Mm-hmm. And so again, to find all that information, you can look on our Facebook page, and we'll have updated information on our website shortly for you to also RSVP. But those are upcoming events. And also, if you do want to get any information about our events, you can subscribe to join our mailing list. And you can do that from our website, or you can email info@brandyformoco.com, and you can get more information. Again, that's info at brandyformoco.com to get more information.
Absolutely. And so we just had some new folks arrive for call time. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break, help get folks settled, and then we'll be back to chat some more. So see you in about 5 minutes.
All right, we'll be right back in 5 minutes, but we're excited to talk to you more about what's going on in the campaign. And this has been a really exciting time, but we'll be back in a really short period of time, okay? Let me just pause real quick. I can do this.
Come on, these are all needles. This should have done that. I gotta put this up in the attic.
We're not paused yet.
Hi, Tabby. My name is Christy Balch, and I'm a volunteer with Brandy Versus Campaign from Montgomery County. Okay, great. Thanks. Have a great night.
How's that for?
Yeah, since we had some time off this week, I figured we should do that and also wish the supporters happy holidays.
And we are back.
I'm assuming you've heard about Montgomery County and what campaign for county council.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about, since we are in the midst of a big fundraising event, you can see more of our folks will come in. This is really great.
Wave, everyone.
Okay, everybody wave for the camera. Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to talk about is about fundraising when it comes to this campaign. And it's, again, this is another part of what makes this such an exciting year to be running for office and to be getting involved in local politics. So Montgomery County is the first county in the state of Maryland to do publicly financed elections at the county level. So county executive candidates and county council candidates, both district candidates and at-large candidates, are now able to run and take advantage of public financing to help their campaigns. And the idea behind this is that if you're not just reliant on finding big donors, and if there are opportunities where some public money can help support candidates running for office, then you can actually start to see a more diverse candidate pool. You can start to see more people feel like they can access running for office because it doesn't just require access to wealth in order to do that. And hopefully you can change what the representation in our legislative and elected bodies looks like. So again, we're the first county in the state to have this program up and running. It was voted in by our council members back in 2014, became law in 2015, and 2018 is the first election where the public election fund is available. And the way that it works is just, it's something I think is really cool. Like it's great for me as a candidate, but I also really am proud of this as a resident of the county that we have this system. And so candidates who want to use the public election fund agree to only take money from individuals. No corporations, no organizations of any kind can give to a publicly financed candidate. And the contributions from individuals are limited to just $150 in total. So that means, over the life of the election up to the primary, somebody can only give me $150 maximum across all that period of time. By comparison, under standard Maryland campaign finance law, the maximum is $6,000. So this is a really different scale of looking at what it means to finance our elections. In exchange for being willing to only take small dollar contributions from individuals, county council and county executive candidates can have contributions from Montgomery County donors matched up to 4 times in the case of a county council race and up to 6 times in the case of the county executive race. So what this ultimately means is that for Montgomery County donors, if you contribute $25 to the campaign, that becomes $125 when you count in the matching from the public election fund. If you contribute $50 to the campaign, that becomes $250 into the fund. So it's this way, where your money has a tremendous amount of power. Like I don't know anywhere else where I spend money and it, the value of it gets multiplied 5 times. But that's actually what's happening in these races with this public election fund. And what it means for us as candidates is that instead of having this tension between having to go and focus on, high dollar donors in order to run a successful campaign versus wanting to talk to regular residents of the county of all income levels in order to talk about what's important to us, there's not that tension anymore for me. My donors and the people I want to talk to across the county are one and the same. And it really changes how you can approach a campaign as a result of that. We can have conversations with people, and everywhere we go, the folks we talk to are potential donors and are highly valuable donors to us because of the way that their money gets matched. And we've been doing this campaign. This is actually the first thing that we started out with, and we called it the High Five campaign. So I'm holding that up there. And this is like one of our very first pieces of literature that we put together was this High Five campaign, because we wanted to be able to share with folks around the county that there is this different thing that's going
All right,
on
thank you
in
so much.
our politics right now.
Thank you.
And you look at what happened with President Obama and the way that he started this fundraising trend, and then especially with the Sanders campaign and that $27 average that became so famous. And now we can be doing that here in our county races as well, and really changing the name of the game in a way that provides a lot more access both to new candidates, but also to everyday residents to have a voice and to have an influence in their government, and to have officials who feel accountable to them, not just to people who have accumulated wealth. And I think this is a game changer for us in Montgomery County, or it can be, because if we, as again, everyday citizens across the county, every kind of income level, use this new power and this new opportunity that we have to take our funds and to support candidates who really represent our values, who really represent our communities, then we can start to change the face, like literally change the face of what our politics looks like. And we can start to understand that, you know, even in the face of things like Citizens United, even in the face of this tax bill that we have just seen passed by Congress, that money isn't the only power that can shape what can happen, that we can actually have the power to shape what happens in our government too. And I think this is so important. It's also really important because we've got to take a look at representation in Maryland. And Michelle, you worked on this for a long time at Fair Vote, and you're actually still working on it with the Democracy Initiative. And, you know, the question of like, does the makeup of our government actually reflect our communities? And the answer, unfortunately, in Maryland, despite being considered a progressive blue state, is no. There's a project, Cynthia Terrell, who we mentioned has been one of our house party hosts, also runs a project called Representation 2020. And a few months ago, she shared with me this statistic that just kind of blew my mind. I couldn't believe that it was true. So if you look at the states of Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania, so these 4 mid-Atlantic states, and you look at their representatives to Congress, it's 40 people in all. Of those 40 folks, only one is a woman. Across those 4 states, 40 representatives, and only one is a woman going to Congress. It's crazy. I don't even know how else to put it. That's clearly failing to represent half of the population of our communities in our legislature. And again, a number of these states are considered kind of more progressive, or at least, you know, moderately, balanced between progressive and conservative. And we're still having this struggle to achieve gender parity in 2017. You know, and it's been what, nearly 100 years, not quite 100 years,
like 98 years
since
so,
women's right to vote was
Yeah.
recognized.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're still actively having this struggle. And, you know, when you look at the numbers for women of color, it becomes even worse. We're terrible with representation across the board. And I think in the state of Maryland, only 26% of our legislature, the state assembly, is women. And again, that is such an imbalance when it comes to representing and also taking advantage of all of the skills and knowledge and ability that we have in our communities. And the factors that keep folks from feeling like they can run are structural factors like access to money, are factors like access to social networks, and the difference that you often see in that between, again, men and women, or between people of color and white folks. And we need to be developing systems that actually intentionally balance out those structures and intentionally shift what people are able to do. And so the Public Election Fund is one of these critical structures that we can put in place, where we don't just say, you know, I wish that things were more representative, I wish that politics worked differently, but where we say, this is what we're actually going to do to make politics work differently.
Yeah, and so the Public Election Fund is definitely one step towards helping to create a more reflective democracy. And that's why it's so important, again, for your support. And that's why we have folks who are behind us, who are making calls across the county, who are calling Montgomery County residents and asking them and encouraging them to help support Brandy Brooks in her campaign with any donation. And as Brandy said, for folks in Montgomery County who donate to the campaign, from a donation of $5 to $150, that is matched by the county. And that's an amazing opportunity for you to, again, to have your contribution as a Montgomery County resident multiplied and it actually magnified in terms of the power it has in terms of increasing the support behind those candidates who are running under the public election system, like Brandy, to be those grassroots candidates who are able to run and to represent the issues and not be have only the ears of big money donors, of corporations, to really have the ear and the trust of the community. And so this is a really exciting opportunity, and it helps to put forward the issues that really are important to our communities, and to talk about those first, not about what kind of big money development piece or whatever is just those high dollar donors who are putting in their money to be in line first to have the conversation. It's about us. It's about our communities being there and being in the conversation and having someone who's an advocate for our communities, our issues, for what really matters, and making sure that we have thriving communities, that we're able to work here, we're able to live here, that we're able to have families, that our children are able to be able to live here, to grow up here, to go to school here. All of these things are very important. And so that's the importance of the public election fund and the importance of giving. And that's one reason why we're doing an exciting campaign. We started this a few weeks ago, and it's called Giving 2018 for 2018. So we're asking folks to just help us to win in 2018 by giving $20.18. And you go to our website, go to brandyformontgomery.com or brandyformontgomery.com/donate, and you'll see a button that for 2018, and you can make that donation of just $20.18. If that's what you can do, that's awesome, and that helps us move our campaign along, and you're helping to power our campaign to win in 2018. If you can donate more than that, we also have another button where you can make a donation of whatever amount you can, and again, you're helping to power us, power a movement, a people power movement for 2018. And so we thank you for whatever amount you can give, and we encourage you, if you give an amount, again, post that online, share it with us, share it with your friends, share it with neighbors, coworkers, let them know that you've given this donation, and encourage other people to give. We've had so many people who've participated in our 2018 for 2018 campaign, and it's been amazing. Thank you for everybody. But one of the reasons why we're doing this Friend-A-Thon is because we are very close with the Public Election Fund to reaching one of the major thresholds for qualifying. So for the Public Election Fund, you need to have 250 Montgomery County donors donate to the campaign, and a total of $20,000. And we are just shy. We need 72 more donors to qualify, and so that's why we have this Friend-A-Thon going on for the next 72 hours. We're not going to be live for 72 hours. Can't do that. But for the next 72 hours, we're doing different campaigns on social media. We have a couple of events where we're going to be at Mr. Smoothies on Sunday. We're doing another live broadcast on Friday and Saturday, for a couple hours. We're just trying to get people to encourage them. Again, reach out to your friends and your neighbors, tell them about what Brandy's campaign, encourage them to make a donation of whatever amount that they can, help us to reach that goal of 72 donors. We're going to have, very shortly, we're going to have Carol do an update of where we are with our goal tonight so that we can get some updated numbers. But again, it's all about helping to reach that goal. That's what this Friend-A-Thon is about. It's about helping us together as a community, coming together to help us win in 2018.
Yeah, and I want to, I want to talk about this threshold. This is something that folks don't always realize about the Public Election Fund, is that in order to begin receiving the matching from the county, you have to raise a certain amount of money from a certain number of people. So again, in the case of an at-large race, it's $20,000, at least $20,000 from at least 250 Montgomery County donors. And one of the things that means is that in order for the matching to happen, we need folks in our community to step up and say, I want to support this movement. I want to support this campaign. I want to support changing the way that politics works and looks here in Montgomery County. And I've been talking with folks over the last couple of weeks, again, about this opportunity that we have with the 2018 elections, and reminding folks that these new systems that we have, the open seats that are available due to term limits, all of this stuff, these are great opportunities. These are doors that open up to new possibilities, but they don't matter if we don't walk through them. They don't matter if we don't step up and say, okay, now that I have this opportunity, I really want to take advantage of it to reshape what's happening in my local government and to change how well I get represented and who represents me. And so we are here because in order for us to be able to go on to make that change in the county council across Montgomery County, we need our Montgomery County community to come and to step up and make those donations and show that we're going to use structures like the Public Election Fund to make a difference, and that we want to make sure that these new systems that we have, these new opportunities we'll have, actually fulfill the promise and the potential that they have to let us do things differently. And so we are really looking forward to, over the course of this, this next, I think we're now like 3 hours into our 72 hours. So, over the course of the next 69 hours to really engage a lot of different folks through things like this live broadcast, through some of the other events that we're going to be doing online and also in person over the course of the next 3 days, and gather our community together to really help us meet this critical threshold of 250 Montgomery County donors. And again, it's been so exciting, the support that we've had from all different corners of our community, folks saying that they want to see how this new kind of politics can work, and they want to support a really progressive movement that engages and lifts up all of the people of our county. So, we're excited that those of you who are watching this are part of that. Folks who have donated, folks who have spread the word to their neighbors, to their family members, to their friends, to their coworkers, to let people know that this is what's going on. Isn't that right? You gotta say it loud. All right, so she's feeling a little shy, but she'll come back later and she'll say something really cool. And so, this is a big moment for us to show that as we come into the new year, that we as a community are building our power together to make these changes in our politics. And so, that's why we're out here doing this Friend-A-Thon, having a good time, entertaining the kiddos as well as the adults, and and just like giving you a window into a little bit of the campaign here. Yeah, and this is a fun time, and I'm glad for folks being able to join us online. Hi, everyone, for those folks who are online and have been part of our Friend-A-Thon online. This is a great opportunity. If you do have any questions, thank you. And then, thanks, sweetie. If you do want to, if you have questions or thoughts, you can feel free. If you're on Facebook, you can. There's some areas that you can post a comment on the Facebook page if you want to. If you're on Twitter and watching this, you can post a comment on Twitter. Feel free to email us too if you want to at info@brandyformoco.com, and just let us know what you think. But the other important thing, which is what the main part of a Friend-A-Thon is to share this with your friends, with your family, with your neighbors, and let them know. So, if you've seen part of this broadcast, share it with a friend or neighbor. Say, hey, check this out. See what they're doing. This is pretty cool. That they're, talking about what the campaign is doing, and you can ask your questions, and you can participate, and encourage them to, check out the website, brandyformontgomery.com, to see the
issues that Brandy is working on, and you can also, if they want to, like, check out the live feed, they can see some of the great supporters of Team Brandy. Wave in the background, folks. Wave. Great people that we have here, you know, who are part of the campaign and working on this. And you can see, like, that this is the activities that we do. We try to do different fun things. We're a people power campaign that is really kind of active in the community, and, you know, trying to do new and fun things, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. And so, you know, this Friend-A-Thon, you know, we would love for, you know, you to support it in whatever ways you can. So if you can, you know, be part of our campaign, do one of our canvases, our phone banks, you know, whatever it is, offer your gifts and talents. That's amazing, and that's what we want. So help connect. Let's connect more people, get them part of this campaign, and get ready for a great year in 2018. That's what we're excited about.
That is absolutely what we're excited about, and it's, you know, it's kind of, again, amazing to think that 2018 is just around the corner. So we started doing this 8 months ago, and we've got 6 more months to go until that all important Democratic primary on June 26, 2018. So make sure you've marked your calendars for that you're making your plan to come out and vote, not just in November. November will be important too, but to start with that January primary, because in a heavily Democratic county like Montgomery County, that primary is actually where a lot of who's going to represent us in office in the 2018 elections actually gets decided. And so making sure that we show up for that primary is really important. And, you know, again, we mentioned that this is so many races are going on in Montgomery County, across the state of Maryland. Many folks, again, in response to the renewed energy and interest in how we get involved in our government, are stepping up to run for office. And it's, you know, it's a little bit like the Wild West here in Montgomery County right now. So it was just officially announced, the 30th person has officially filed to run in the at-large race. So this is now 30 folks competing for those 4 seats. And I think that's unprecedented in a local race for office here in Montgomery County. And we're also seeing that in a number of different district races. We're seeing, again, a lot of folks stepping up, interested in running for office, interested in bringing new ideas into county government. We're seeing the same thing in so many of the delegate races across the different districts, delegate districts in Montgomery County. So again, this is like a really amazing time to get involved, to get to know the people who want to represent you, the people who want to set policy, you know, legislation, regulations that will determine, you know, how your life works as a homeowner or renter, what it looks like to go to school, whether that's, you know, elementary school or Montgomery College, how it feels to start a business, to work here in Montgomery County, how your community is going to be developing over time, where you're going to see development, where you're going to see new housing, where you're going to see new transportation options. These are all things that the county council gets involved in and has significant influence over. And we often don't realize, again, how our local government shapes so much of our daily lives. Sometimes we think about the taxes, but we also don't think about all of those services and activities that take place at the local level, so that we can live and learn and play and get around to all the different things that we want to do. So yeah, this is a time when we, again, as Michelle said, want to make sure that you are getting involved, that you are finding ways to go out, to meet the folks who are running for office. Because there are so many of us, it's pretty easy to bump into one of us at one event or another. And but yeah, to have those conversations, to ask those deep questions about, you know, what do you really want to do? Get someone to go past the platitudes or the sound bites and really tell you what their vision is for Montgomery County. You know, because this is, I think, one of the things for me that kept me out of politics for a long time, was this feeling that it wasn't particularly substantive. It was really combative, but you know, didn't produce a lot of true results for people that I cared about. It wasn't making it easier for folks to make a living. It wasn't making housing more secure. When you looked at what happened after the 2008 housing crisis, it wasn't protecting people's homes. It was, protecting like financialized and corporate wealth, and while folks were losing their jobs and losing homes. And that was really disheartening to think that the government, again, is supposed to represent me and my family and my friends, didn't have our best interests at heart, and it wasn't really focused on that at all. And certainly, I mean, we can talk about this on so many levels. We can talk about it when it comes to economic justice. We can talk about it when it comes to racial justice. And over the past few years, folks have, honestly, like I think seen the way that racism persists and plays out in so many different communities of color, to varying colors across the country. And we've had to start to really come to terms as a nation and as communities within that nation with how we are going to make this promise of, all men being created all equal, of all of us having that right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, more than just words, but an actual reality here. And so what does that look like when we talk about policing? What does that look like when we talk about school discipline and how Black and brown children get placed into the school discipline that ultimately leads much more to interactions with law enforcement and the criminal justice system? And what does that do for people's lives and trajectories? And then how does that ultimately impact all of us in our communities when we are restricting the ability of so many of our members to live and thrive in our communities? And so, we've really got to be delving deeply into these issues when it comes to economics, when it comes to housing and the housing crisis that we're facing here in Montgomery County as we continue to grow and as housing has stayed unaffordable for so many folks. And, that's true whether or not you're a young person who's trying to, get their first job and find a place to live, or whether you're folks who want to start a family and be able to have a good place to raise kids, or whether you're older folks and you want to have a good and sustainable place where you can age in place and have access to all the amenities that you need. These are the things that we have to keep wrestling with in our county and digging beyond the sound bites to talk about how do we actually construct solutions? How do we build good policy? How do we build good systems that will make these things possible for all the different residents of our county? And so this is the time when I think for all of us as members of our communities need to be stepping up and need to be digging in and engaging with our current elected officials as well as the folks who are running for office to say, all right, what are we really going to do to address these problems besides just kind of saying some nice words and shrugging our shoulders?
Yeah. So I'm looking for some comments on if you do have any comments. Sorry, I'm trying to manage the social media as I'm here doing the live stuff. So I'm paying attention to the conversation.
Good.
But if you're posting some comments or pieces, I see people are signing up online. So this is awesome. Thank you for folks who are signing up on our website. Thanks for folks who are making donations. We'll be highlighting like where we are, giving an update very soon. But thanks for people who are making donations, who are signing up to get more information about the campaign, who are visiting our website. Awesome for people who are online and engaging with us. Again, thank you so much for participating in our Friend-A-Thon. This is really exciting. Something new for us to do, and as we close out 2017, this is really exciting that we're able to connect with different folks and that people are participating. We want to just give a quick shout out to the folks in the room. Thank you all to all of our volunteers who are participating in our phone bank and card writing. Thank you so much, everybody. So this is great that we're able to do this, to spend some time as we're closing out the year to help kind of build up the momentum. There's a lot going on that we have to do in 2018, and this is really exciting that we're going to be connecting with so many residents. The county has over 1 million residents.
It does. It does.
There's a lot of folks that we're going to be engaging. There's a lot of walking that we're going to be doing.
Absolutely.
A lot of canvassing.
Absolutely.
A lot of canvassing that we've already
so
done.
running for office is my fitness program.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my resolution. Is to canvas all across the county.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, this is just we've done a lot of canvassing, a lot of events that we've been doing across the county to engage, and there's just so much more that we're going to be doing over the next 6 months. And so this is just really exciting, leading up to the primary on June 26, 2018. Don't forget the date. So there's just so many things that it's just really exciting to be a part of this and to be into engaging. So yeah, there's, again, let me remind folks of the upcoming events that we have. Our first house party of 2018. It's a meet and greet in Silver Spring on January. I always say that. On January 6th. On January 6th in Silver Spring. You could look on our Facebook page to find the information on that and to RSVP for that house party.
Right. And we're going to have house parties going on throughout the month. I think there's one on the 15th, another one on the 21st, another one on the 24th. So again, we're going through looking at these opportunities where we can get out into different parts of the community and talk with folks. And this is the other piece too, is if you're interested in hosting a house party, or if you're interested in having us come and be part of a community event where we can connect with folks in your neighborhood, folks in your area of Montgomery County, and where we can, again, really talk about what are the things that you want to see for your community? What are the things that we need to be addressing in the county right now to make sure that we're really building a Montgomery that is for all people, that is for all of our residents? In running for office, there's a lot of time, especially right now as we're doing this 2-hour broadcast, there's a lot of talking. But we don't always like to be talking. We actually want to be doing a lot of listening. Because when I think about this campaign, and folks ask me a lot, why did you run for office? Why do you want to do this? And it's not for the title or the prestige. It's because I really believe in the power of community, and I believe in what happens when we all come together to share our visions, to share our needs, but also our hopes and dreams. And when we build out what our community looks like based on that, there are just truly amazing things that can happen. And I've been doing this in my career for over a decade now, is finding ways to do that, whether it's working in architecture and planning and working with folks on how they can have influence in development decisions that are going on in their neighborhood, to working in food justice and talking about how people get involved in making sure that we have healthy food, not just like buying healthy food at the grocery store, but how do we make sure that we're involved in how healthy food is grown, in how it's harvested, and how it's processed, and how it's sold, and making sure that at each point we're ensuring the health of people and planet. We're ensuring that economic benefit goes to all the folks who are involved in that. And again, we're ensuring that the output is healthy food that goes into our bodies and continues to nourish us, as well as the environment around us. And now the work that I do around organizing is taking that and looking not only at food, but again, looking at wages, looking at housing, looking at all of these different parts and pieces of the policies that are going on in our local communities, at the county level, at the state level, and figuring out how we bring together that same community power to shape what is happening and to make sure that what's happening really serves us well, and that we have a government and that we have public systems and services that really give us the things that we need and that we're a part of. And so I think that's what's so exciting about the opportunity of getting involved in county politics, and how do we make those things again a reality, and turn all these like dreams and ideas we have for what our communities could be like into the things that we get to live every single day.
I think that's really awesome. So this is exciting. I think that we, as you're hearing this, I hope that you're excited to, for folks that are listening online and to the live broadcast, and those who hopefully will listen to this later, that you're excited about the campaign and excited about the opportunities to engage with our campaign. Again, if you're interested in connecting with us, you can visit brandyformontgomery.com and you can learn about the issue platforms that for Brandy. You can also find about ways that you can volunteer and get engaged with our campaign and join it, sign up for our mailing list and be involved in that way. And then also you can help and donate and support and fuel our campaign, because that's so important right now as we're in the middle of our fundraising drive and really working towards qualifying for the public election fund. As we mentioned before, one of the key ways that we're asking folks to make that initial donation is donate $20.18 for 2018 to help us win in 2018 and power our People Power movement. And it's a simple donation. You click on the donate button and you can fill out the information, and you can help support us with small donations. And as a Montgomery County resident, if you're a Montgomery County resident, your donation will be matched once we qualify. And so it can be matched up to 4 times, and that becomes a huge donation. So again, a donation of $25 becomes $125 once we reach the qualifying goal. So as we said, we started this Friend-A-Thon because we just needed 72 donors, and we're trying to see if we can get 72 Montgomery County donors over the next 72 hours by the end of the year. We're going to give a quick update before we close out our broadcast at the end of this tonight. We'll be coming back to you live for an hour tomorrow, and then live on Saturday, and then we'll have our final live broadcast for our Friend-A-Thon on Sunday. We'll be at Mr. Smoothies in
downtown Rockville. This is going to be a lot of fun, so you should definitely come out and join us at Mr. Smoothies in Rockville from 2 to 4 p.m. on Sunday, December 31st. So before you get ready to go out and do your New Year's partying, stop in for some bubble tea, some ice cream, and for getting together and again, talking about these visions, like what we want to accomplish in 2018, what we want to see happen. And, as we're gearing up for all of the celebration, let's gear up for that too.
Right.
And for what we're going to do together as a community. And so we really want folks to come on out. Mr. Smoothies is a great place. We're so thankful that they're hosting us. And again, we're looking forward to doing these kinds of partnerships where we get to introduce folks to great local businesses, where we get to bring people together at different venues all around the county to showcase all that our county has to offer, and all the different folks who are a part of it. And it's also a lot of fun. One of the things we love about these events is having different people from within our network, different people who are among our supporters of the campaign actually come together and to meet each other and to build new relationships. So it's not just about the relationships, between me and you and the other folks who come to volunteer, who come to donate, but it's about the relationships within the community too. And every time we get together, we love to gather around good food, good beverages, good conversation, and having a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to be doing at Mr. Smoothie in downtown Rockville from 2 to 4 p.m. on December 31st.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting. And I want to give a shout out to one of our Max donors, Steve, who's sick right now, and I think he might be watching. But Steve, I hope you feel better.
So. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, hi, Steve. I hope you feel better. And talking about Max donors, so again, with the public election fund, we can only accept donations up to $150. And so when we have folks who give the maximum contribution of $150, that's it. They've contributed that maximum amount, but they can still be part of the campaign in great ways. And Steve's a great example of someone who has, he's given a maximum contribution, but he still wants to be active within the campaign and do a lot of great things.
Yeah.
He's helped contribute to the campaign by taking photographs. He's an amazing amateur photographer. He's volunteered his time at various events. He's helped connect different residents to the campaign.
Yeah.
Help promote Brandy whenever he has a chance. Help to attend various public events and shared about Brandy. And that's part of what the Friend-A-Thon is all about.
Right.
Being able to do those things, whether it's within these 72 hours or outside of that, that's part of like building our people power movement.
Absolutely, and it's so great. So Steve and also his wife Sue. Hi Sue as well, if you're watching. The Melchizethians are two of our great Max donors, both who've given the maximum amount and then are continuing, as Michelle said, to volunteer their time. They've come out with us to parades. They've come out with us to important hearings like the minimum wage hearing where I got to testify. They are actively engaging all the time in their community, in Bethesda where they live, but also, just kind of all around the county and all around the region, really. Steve using his photography and all these different kinds of things to make sure that they are actively engaged and supporting folks who are doing progressive work on, progressive policy and progressive advocacy and activism. Gosh, there's so many different folks that we could give shout outs to among our Max donors. They're amazing. We talked about the house party that we had earlier this month at the beginning of December that was hosted by another one of our Max donors, Dana Best. She's like an amazing house party guru. And actually we've got one of our other house party gurus, Eliza, here, who's we should pull Eliza over to talk about house parties.
I'll see if
so she may be on the phone, but we'll grab her up. We'll grab her over there in a second. So these folks are continuing. She's great at here in our neighborhood hosting community events that bring our neighborhood together. And she brought that talent and that skill and her networks to help us host this amazing house party this month. And it's just a really fantastic neighbor to neighbor celebration as well as a campaign celebration. And so we love all the different ways that folks are finding ways to get connected. And some people are able to do that $150 all in one shot. Some folks are doing it, with monthly donations over the course of, several months. And however that makes sense for someone, we're really excited about having people participate at the level that works for them. Because again, we know that in addition to the money, people are bringing their understanding and their expertise about all the different issues that we want to work on. And when we did our kickoff event in August, and I got to talk about what it looks like for us to defy conventional wisdom and have a grassroots people-powered movement. I talked about what that expertise looks like. And when you think about something like transportation, you think, okay, you need a transportation engineer, you need someone who's working on this, and that's super important because I want to make sure that those cars and those trains run well. But you also need folks who have the expertise of being long-term transit riders and, the mom or the dad who has to get their couple of kids plus some bags plus some groceries and take that around on the bus and the train. That kind of lived experience and community knowledge is part of the expertise that each one of us brings to making sure that we build policy and systems that actually work for us. Because without both components, that technical piece as well as that lived experience piece of what it means to try and get around Montgomery County by public transit, we can't be building good systems that are actually good solutions for all of the members of our community. And so we get excited in the different ways that people want to get involved. We've got to talk to a lot of different educators who are really, really interested in what we can be doing to improve equity in our school systems and making sure that every child that comes through Montgomery County Public Schools is able to get the best out of that educational experience. And so we love talking to to teachers, we love talking to administrators, and we love talking to students. One of our great volunteers who comes out for so many of our events is Mohammed, and he's a middle school student, and he's awesome. He loves politics. So Mohammed, if you're watching, it's a quick shout out to you as well. And Mohammed loves politics. He loves getting engaged and coming out to our events and helping us think about what it looks like to shape the county so that all of our residents, no matter what their age, are really able to actively participate. So, Eliza, come on down. Here, so I'm going to let Eliza sit with you.
Okay.
Okay, so come on over. We're going to talk about house parties.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
I love house parties.
See? Exactly. So, Eliza, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes. Hi. I've never done this before.
I know, it's kind of weird, right?
I'm Eliza Wasserman. I live in DC, and I'm super excited about Brandy's campaign.
Yay, thank you. So this is super fun. I lived in Massachusetts for a long time, and that was actually where Eliza and I met, that we worked together around food justice issues in Massachusetts, and then both independently ended up moving down to the DC metro area within just a few months of each other, and now are getting to continue working together on cool stuff down here. And Eliza hosted this just awesome house party that we had in October that was so much fun. And we've assigned her to be one of our house party mentors and gurus for other folks who are interested in doing this. So Eliza, why did you want to host a house party?
Yeah, well, so I feel like that house party was I was already working on the campaign, but that house party felt like a little bit transformative to see the conversations that people were having as a result during the house party as a result of engaging with you and the campaign about the issues that you care about and the issues that they care about. And I felt like these are friends who I talk about politics and issues that they care about all the time with, but actually there were conversations that we hadn't had that kind of came up as a result of thinking about what is possible when you have both, as a base, public financing of elections, but then candidates who are really able to think about not just sort of the traditional things you always hear about in electoral politics, but also kind of the bigger desires and visions and goals that people have for the places that they call home, the communities that they live in. And I felt like I feel excited about house parties. So if you're watching and you are thinking what is a house party? Could I do that? So house party is just basically, you gather a few friends or family members or neighbors. Doesn't have to be a huge amount of people. And it's just an opportunity for them to hear from Brandy and talk to each other about, what are your dreams for your community? What are the challenges that you think the county council should be able to address, or things that you would want a candidate to address? And just have some of those conversations, and it's a way to build relationships and also learn from each other and support the campaign as well. And it's a space where if folks are able to financially contribute, that's, people, I think, when they do that together, they feel if there's 10 people here, we can really make a difference in this campaign by doing this together versus just donating on my laptop at home. So you might be able to generate even more support from your friends by having them have that experience together.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the cool things about your house party is that you ended up bringing together, just all of these friends from activist spaces, I think from some of your faith spaces, so kind of all these different parts of your life to talk about, like you said, these discussions about politics and governments that we often kind of have in our houses, have among friends, we're reacting to the things that we see going on in the world, but then to actually be able to come together as a group and say, well, wait a minute, there's something that we can do. There's something more that we can do, beyond maybe just being frustrated, beyond even, sort of letter writing and calling our representatives. It's how do we actually become the people who are shaping these policies, and how do we participate in that process in a new way? And it was fun to get to know your whole network and crew of folks who are really cool. So.
It was fun. And I will just add, my friend Josh, who probably not watching, maybe he is. Josh and I have known each other since 5th grade.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
He, I don't think, has ever really been excited about a political candidate before. He came because he, you know, he wanted to be open to the things that I care about.
Mhm.
And he got really excited. And it was like really fun for me to see him engaging in a way that, so, you know, it doesn't have to be people that you think of as like people that already are involved with working with campaigns or candidates. Like people, it's like a new experience for people sometimes, and that can be really exciting for them.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's, you know, that's one of the things that we're really trying to do with the public election fund and with the campaign as a whole is engage folks who haven't been engaged in politics this way before, folks who've never thought of themselves as donors or canvassers or any of these things to say, oh wait, this is actually something that I can do. And Carol, who came on a little bit earlier, one of the fun things, mom, so I guess I can just call her mom. We already told her she's our mom. But one of the things that's so fun has been, you know, watching mom go out and sort of like go from being really nervous about canvassing to being like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this everywhere I go. I've got my buttons, I've got my sign-in sheet. I'm going to be talking to people about this, and realizing that we can actually do things like that, and that it, you know, it sort of opens up all these new opportunities to connect with people is really kind of cool. Awesome.
No, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Even on a cold night.
Even on a cold night. So thank you. So I
I
know. See, it's pretty warm in here. We've got snacks, so you know that's how we like to do things on the campaign.
Right.
Thanks, Eliza.
All right, keep going. I'll be posting.
All right. So Michelle's posting on social media. So one of the things that I think is very funny about this is that you never quite realize how much work people do during like a telethon. You know, we've all seen this for like public television, or we've heard it on public radio, and it's actually a pretty intense experience. So I have a whole new respect for folks who manage and folks who host telethons, because it is you know, just like thinking about how you share all of this different stuff and encourage people, and you know, continually call back to the folks who are on the phone and on the postcards. Now I totally know why they do that, because it's really exciting, and you want to keep people aware of all the awesome folks who are helping to contribute to what we're doing here. So I think we're going to pause and take another quick break, and then we're going to be able to come back in a little bit with updates from this first evening of our Phone-A-Thon. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to you to close out the broadcast.
All right, we'll be right back, folks. because that's what we learned. Unmute first.
All right.
Hi, we're back. And we switched seats.
Yeah, shaking it up. It's like we're going to do with Montgomery County politics. It's so exciting. Yes, we make terrible, terrible jokes on the campaign too. It's part of our charm.
Yeah. It's part of my charm outside of the campaign. My husband, hi, Doogie. He loves my jokes.
He does. He loves Michelle's jokes. We also love Michelle's singing. It's really beautiful.
No. I'll just say I support the choir by sitting.
Yes.
Being silent.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we're back and this is Friend-A-Thon 2017. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for all of our fabulous volunteers who are here. We've been making calls and writing postcards. We're contacting Montgomery County residents, talking about the campaign and getting them excited for 2018. What's happening in 2018?
I don't know. I might wander around for a while, take double walks. I don't know, nothing big. Except we're having an amazing election. And our primary is going to be on June 26, 2018, the Democratic primary, which is the big first step in our campaign when it comes to voter engagement.
Awesome. So we have a couple of folks that we want to share and talk about, like some of the exciting pieces that have how we're connecting folks in different neighborhoods and communities. And so we have different folks that we're going to be connecting. I'm going to get off the screen for a minute. We're going to swap seats.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave for a second. I'll be back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll miss you.
Okay.
All right. And I want to welcome Christy Balch. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
So Christy and I have known each other for a few years now, again, through food systems work. There's an awesome food justice community that works in and around DC. And Christy is the executive director of the Crossroads Community Food Network.
Woohoo!
And one of the things, so there's so many things I love about Crossroads, and I'm going to try to let you talk more about Crossroads because I don't want to steal the thunder. But one of the great things I love, this is a farmer's market that runs every Wednesday in Langley Park, right near the border with Tacoma Park and Silver Spring, as well as with Montgomery County and Prince George's County. It's serving a very strongly Latino community. And this market has also been a tremendous place for supporting food entrepreneurs and the start of small food businesses here in Montgomery County. And so I love talking about food entrepreneurship, talking about like cooperative business and micro enterprise. So it was really, really cool that the place that we actually got to bust out and start doing our high five, also our Dame Cinco campaign, yes, that's right, we had it into both languages, was at the Crossroads Market. Because again, we got to interact with so many folks, being a part of the county that often honestly doesn't get a lot of political visits and a lot of people building relationships out there, and also got to taste and shop for some amazing food over the entire course of the season. It's been so brilliant. So props to everybody who vends at Crossroads Community Food Market, because it's just wonderful. Yeah. So Christy, I'd love for you to tell a little bit about what Crossroads is doing, and then about why it was exciting for you to get involved in the campaign and to have us be present at the market.
Yeah, great. So we loved having you all at market. Brought a new energy, and I do think you're right. A lot of the folks that shop at our market are a little bit outside of the political process in Montgomery County for a variety of reasons, but a lot of folks just don't recognize that they have a say and that they should speak up and should get candidates that are running that will listen to them and take their voice into consideration. And so I think that was what was so energizing about having you at the market, was talking to people who don't get asked a lot of questions about what they think in local politics. So it was a great opportunity. So
it was really cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about the market. Tell us about the work that Crossroads does.
Yeah. So our claim to fame is that we were the first market in the country to offer double dollars for food stamps program. Okay. So if a family that's using federal benefits like SNAP, which is also called food stamps, or WIC, shops at the market, we match what they spend up to $20 each week. So that means like free $20 for fruits and vegetables. So low-income families can eat healthier food, but also that money goes straight into the hands of local farmers. So it's a win-win. And now there's over 500 markets across the country that do that, but it was started here in Montgomery County, Maryland. So
Nice.
that's pretty exciting. And then we're really proud that we are able to link our farmers with our food entrepreneurs that are using the brand new shared use kitchen at the Tacoma Park Presbyterian Church. Yeah, so then folks that are trying to get a food business up and running, we support them through a training program and also providing this really low cost licensed kitchen space. So folks that use the kitchen can source their raw product from the market, and then they can also sell those value added products back at the market. So it's pretty incredible.
And why did you think it was so important to like get involved in entrepreneurship around food, like not just the sale of food or food access? Like why did you do that?
Well, it was because people were asking for it. So we opened the market in 2007, and a lot of people were really excited about this double dollars program, but they would say, well, what I really want is to sell at your market. How do I do that? And so we were constantly turning people away because they weren't using a licensed kitchen for their products, or they didn't have the right licenses and permits. And as you know, it's a little complicated to do that. And Montgomery County has some unique challenges, but also some really great things about it. So we were able to start a microenterprise training program to train folks in how to do all that paperwork. And then we built this shared use kitchen so that they can actually have an affordable space to produce their products.
Yeah, so. And one of the things I love, so I remember you spoke, what was it, about like maybe 2 months ago at an event that was hosted by a number of different progressive groups in the county, talking about like what it looks like to actually build, a progressive economy and economic systems. And I loved it when we were talking about like, what is this big vision that we could actually be accomplishing when it comes to economic justice in our communities. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about what you were talking about, because it was so fun for me to hear about it.
Well, we're just getting the kitchen up and running, and we've had the market. We just yesterday completed our 11th season of the farmers market.
Wow!
So we have some goals for each of our programs, but our kind of one of our big pie in the sky ideas is having this Crossroads Cafe idea. And we don't really know what that would look like yet. We're floating around a lot of ideas. But what I really think needs to happen is that there needs to be like some sort of sense of like owner occupied entrepreneurship, where the folks that use our kitchen could build a business so that they have a storefront and maybe an apartment that's attached to it. I don't know what kind of development needs to happen, but we really need to create a path to ownership. And we talk about that with our farmers too. A lot of our market vendors are farming on rented land. They don't have any land tenure. It's like really up in the air. How can we link them with land link programs where they can have a more secure source of land to farm on? And same with our kitchen users and our food entrepreneurs. Like how can they have a more stable place to sell food at, and be able to actually build wealth for their families and build ownership. I think that's critical. So we're just getting started on that, but we need elected officials who can help us achieve that vision.
Absolutely. So. And this is what I love. Like we were talking about how do we come together with all of these different visions and ideas and dreams that we have for our communities. And I love that, just like you said, a lot of times when we talk with folks in low-income communities, folks in communities of color, folks in immigrant communities, it's like, okay, what do these people need? We're never saying like, what are these people like? What are folks eager to do?
Yeah. And what are their assets?
What do ever
ask
exactly?
That?
Exactly. Yeah. And I love that with this program. It's one of the reasons why I like working in food. We can be modeling not only what you can be doing with food business, but what you can be doing with small businesses across the board. Like how do we look at the kind of infrastructure, the kind of training and support that we need, the kind of access to capital that small businesses in Montgomery County need to really thrive? And then how are we creating opportunities in all sorts of different sectors for all the folks in our community who have tremendous skills, tremendous ideas and drive to actually put that into practice. And Montgomery County is already home to so many amazing small businesses, particularly immigrant-run businesses from, folks who come from all over the world to live here. And, it's a question of how we actually make it so that stays the bedrock and the continuing opportunity in our community. And that when we think about economic development, we're thinking about stuff like what you're doing at Crossroads first and foremost, because it's the
small
deepest,
business.
it's the deepest, and I think most comprehensive kind of economic development that we can actually be doing. And
Yeah.
I totally want to see us build like those, owner occupied, like
Yeah.
amazing developments
Yeah.
that are, combine like housing opportunities and commercial opportunities and like all this
Along the
stuff.
purple line.
Along the purple line, and with affordable rental and ownership structures, like that kind of vision is what I think we could really be doing
Yeah.
in Montgomery County.
And
it
the
gets me
time
so
is now.
excited. Exactly.
Yep.
Yes, the time is right now. Because I think this is one of the things for me is that we're looking at this moment where we're seeing a lot of people decimate the systems that we have,
Yeah.
systems that have, only sort of met some work for folks, but
Right.
that we're at least trying to rely on.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I want to be supporting as an elected official, just as a person, is like who's building the new stuff that is that we need to replace these systems that are broken and that are being taken apart. Like who's building the new world? And
Right.
It's so fun
Yeah.
to see folks doing that right
Right.
here in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
And that like energy and knowledge exists, we
Yes.
just have to harness it, and
Absolutely.
encourage it. So.
Absolutely. So, and for you
Yeah.
personally, like, why are you getting involved in politics right now? So you were one of our
Yeah.
early donors, and you're out here phone banking with
Yeah,
us?
well, you know what I did today? I finished reading Hillary Clinton's What Happened.
Oh, okay.
So that was a good motivation. Like it's time. I mean, it's a lot of different factors, like just what happened in 2016, and I gotta do a lot more. And I am a really privileged person. I have some time on my hands, and I really need to put my time and energy into helping make this county a place that really serves everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you could come by tonight. This is really awesome.
Thanks, Brandy.
So, thank you for stopping by. And so this is like so fun. We get to have all of these different amazing people who are part of the campaign. And I want to call one more of the amazing people behind me, Claudia Barragan, to come and to talk a little bit about the work that she's doing here on the campaign. I'm so excited. Claudia is another, just powerful, amazing woman. There's like not enough awesome words that I can give to describe who Claudia is as a community activist, as a planner, as a supporter of organizing and movement building here in the DC area. And what I'm super excited about is that she agreed to be my policy director. So now she's been in that role for about a month and a half. So so tell us a little bit more, like why do it? Why come join the movement?
Well, it's needed.
Yeah.
It's so badly needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I grew up in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
I always say I'm a Mogo kid, and I'm old now, but I'm a Mogo kid. And I represent the immigrant Mogo kid, right? And a lot of the times our voice isn't necessarily get shared with other people. And I was so amazed that you were able to like include me and think of me in this campaign and rooted here in the county. And it's such an important opportunity to have our voices heard. Like what I've been hearing from my own family, who are all voters, and then they constantly go vote, but it's not necessarily an educated vote. It's usually like, well, who do we know? Which name do we feel like that we've seen more posters of?
Right.
But not necessarily discussing about the issues, or that vote is about the issues, the policy issues.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. Like for so many of us, like when we get to the local part of our ballot, we're just kind of like, I don't know, that name looks good. I don't know. So I know for me, even like getting involved in local politics with this process of realizing that I actually could, honestly, and realizing like what the opportunities were for me to engage in what was happening in my government.
Participate. So that was even today I was having a conversation with my family, and I was like, well, there's a big difference between understanding the system, but also participating. Right, and that's the benefit of the public elections fund, right? Because you are actually participating. You're participating through your funding, like who you fund, and then when the minute that you start giving even $5, you start asking, well, what is this $5 going to be about? And who is it going to be for? And how is it going to benefit my community? Right, and then that's how like engagement start happening. Yeah.
It's really cool, and it's so fun, and it's been fun to, we talked about family. You've seen London running back and forth, and another of our great house parties was hosted by Claudia's sister, Veronica, and it was kind of this great meeting of the families because we were all there and you guys were all there, and just having this tremendous conversation about education, about like labor, about all these things in Montgomery County, and it was so cool. Like I loved that evening.
Yeah, I mean the other things that we've been doing is like, so the phone banking that's happening right now in the back, right? So when we call different campaign supporters, we get to hear about what they do.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when we were at my family's family reunion or family reunion type of thing that we had, like my family used to live in East County and now they live West County or Upper County, right? And understanding the differences between what the needs are for this community. So whenever I'm in the phone bank and I'm talking to people and asking them about what are your concerns, the differences between East County and the West Side come out. And policy-wise, development-wise, what is happening along Grace Cheney Road, all of the BRT, the transit issues that are happening, the widening of the highways, all those issues are coming up, and we get to hear those because of the phone bank, and we get to hear those because of all of the meetings that we have with the community. So it's been a great thing.
And so so you've been working with us on policy, which has been absolutely wonderful. And what are some of the things that like you're excited to work on in policy through the campaign?
There's definitely all of the development issues. Because having grown up in the county, one of the things I've noticed is that certain things have been addressed and certain things have not. And it's been a long time that things have not been addressed. So transit issues are definitely exciting and important to understand them. The other things are worker rights. That's the other part that a lot of times we don't necessarily understand and what resolutions are out there. And then the other part is the immigrant policies that are out there as well. What does immigration reform look like in Montgomery County? Who will it impact? And then what is happening right now at the national level and how that will trickle down into literally our neighborhoods, because those impacts will, what is happening nationally, and the tax that immigrant communities like mine and immigrant families like mine are facing are going to impact every community member in Montgomery County.
Absolutely. And it was interesting. We were talking over the last couple of weeks about like that connection between what we see, like what some people see as just like national issues, and it's like, well, no, you need to focus on local stuff. And like here in Montgomery County, particularly with our proximity to DC, particularly with having such a diverse community, but just in general, like what happens at the national level impacts our budget, it impacts the safety of our communities, it impacts everything. And so like really having to look at what like you said, like what does immigration reform look like? What does economic justice look like? What does addressing fair taxation and fair representation look like here in Montgomery County? Like, how do we need to be practicing that? It's so important.
I mean, I'll give you some really quick numbers, and because these things are happening so fast at the national level. So January 8th is a really big day for the immigrant community because TPS protections, which is like temporary protection status for the Salvadoran community, may be removed. Right? And right now in Maryland, we hold the second largest number of TPS recipients nationwide.
Wow.
That live in Maryland. And that means about like 20,000 Salvadorans will be left without this protection. So technically will not have an immigration status here. And that means about 5,000 households in Maryland who will be now left in limbo, who are homeowners, which is really interesting. So this is actually impacting homeowners, and about 17,000 children, U.S.-born children, that will be impacted because their parents will no longer have this protection, right? So those numbers are important because we hear about DACA, which is another like 9,000, 10,000 impacted here in Maryland as a whole. And we hear all these issues about immigration, but how are they really going to impact our neighborhoods? So basically, there might be your own neighbors that will no longer be able to have a mortgage, or will continue having this mortgage, but won't be able to be here.
Right.
And that's starting on January 8th if
Right.
this happens. So
Yeah.
these are very real problems.
Excellent.
Yeah, but there are definitely real solutions as well.
Yeah, and when you think about like how we can be getting engaged here locally, like why is it important for folks to come out and like start participating in these local elections?
Yes, and it's in local elections because you start thinking about your problems at the neighborhood level, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, in the phone banking, for instance, we heard a lot from development issues in East County, right?
Mhm.
So, who are leaders who are representing us in solving those problems?
Yeah.
That's one of the questions that elections usually come up. Well, who is going to be there?
Yeah.
And do they understand what is happening? And how do I participate? Because there's always this issue of participating. For example, in East County, there's going to be an advisory board meeting, same thing in January 8th, right? And it's going to be like about development issues there, right? So we're planning on being there, right? And being there in support of the community to hear what are the community concerns, because a lot of times, even though you may have a council member who is, is at large and, they may live somewhere else, they may not be at this meeting, right? And they may not really necessarily hear what is happening. So we need to make sure that people who are supportive of the campaign are also active and understand that these things are happening and the presence of participation in those events are helping.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you so much. And again, this is, as we're continuing to grow out our team, Claudia is one of these amazing examples of folks who's been added to our, core staff team. And I know that you're going to be building a team of folks working on all of these different policy issues. So folks are thinking about like, what are the ways that I can get involved? What are the things I can do after I've made my 2018 donation? Claudia is one of the folks where folks who are going to be looking at, transportation, development, immigrant rights, very economic justice, like all of these different pieces are going to be working with you to make sure that we are present, that we are listening to communities all across Montgomery County, and that we're helping to lift up solutions that are coming from within our communities to really say, like, this is what we need to have happen at the county level.
Yeah.
So
putting our platform, foot on the ground.
Exactly.
That's what we're going to be doing.
Like directly into practice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much.
Please donate.
Yes. All right. So we're coming to the end. Michelle, you want to come on back? And she's back. Hi. All right. So this has been very cool. We're getting ready to wrap up our session here. We've had a great phone bank. Again, we're so appreciative of all the folks who've been participating in the phone bank, calling people, writing postcards. This is what it looks like to get to be part of Team Brandy. You get to come, you get to hang out here with us.
We don't do a live video.
We don't do live video every time. But we wanted, again, to give you a little bit of that picture of who are the people who are part of our campaign. And I'm actually, Harry, can I put you on the spot for a second? I'm gonna bring you on over. We're just bringing people over because it's fun.
I'll get up for a minute.
All right, Michelle's gonna get up for a second again because I'm bringing more people over. And I just wanted to. So Harry's another one of our local residents. It's so fun. Harry, you want to tell folks about yourself?
Yeah. So I grew up in Montgomery County, up in Germantown, up county, and I'm really excited by this campaign because Brandy's really committed to organizing for the entire county, including places that have kind of been neglected in politics beforehand, particularly Up County where I grew up, and just kind of considering like the demographics of Up County, the racial and economic demographics. I think it's really important that they be represented in the county council, and their issues be addressed when it comes to affordable housing and public transportation, and everything I've heard about Brandy's policy plans have been really exciting on that front. So I'm really excited to help out our campaign and get behind it.
Yeah.
Encourage people to volunteer too.
And you've been, getting more and more engaged in politics. I know you've been working a little bit of different campaigns, here in the region. And why is this an important moment for you right now, getting involved?
Yeah, so I didn't pay that much attention to politics until the last presidential election. I was a volunteer for Bernie Sanders during the Iowa caucuses, which really kind of turned my life around and made me start paying attention to the issues.
This is going to be one of our cold weather volunteers.
Yeah, so I'm used to it. It really made me more pay more attention to the issues and realize that I could actually do something about it. So I worked on his campaign. Sadly, that didn't work out. I then went on to work for the Clinton campaign during the general election. That didn't work out either. So I'm really excited about Montgomery County to win for a change, which is why I'm really excited about Brandy also. And because there's such a great opportunity with the Montgomery Council this year, with all the vacancies opening up and the potential to get a strong crew of progressives in there who are actually really going to make a meaningful difference in people's lives.
Yeah, and you're a part of one of our progressive groups here in Montgomery County, the Democratic Socialists of America. And again, as you're leading starting the MoCo branch here, and being part of bringing that, like, what do we need to be looking at as progressives in terms of building this movement so we have the power to take a lot of those seats on county council?
Yeah, I really do think it comes back to organizing communities that are minority, working class, constituencies that aren't traditionally represented in government are in organizing communities here.
Yeah.
Just growing up and looking at how much Gaithersburg and Germantown have exploded in population in the last 20 years without having the equivalent representation on the county council.
Yeah.
I do really think that we're really ripe to organize these communities and get some strong policies and to help benefit them.
Awesome.
And that's what we learned in Virginia. I volunteered for
Yes.
some elections down there, and that was our philosophy. It was that
Thank
we really hit
As a region, we thank you.
And thank my friend Chris, who I brought, who was the field director for
Oh, I think he
Rome.
just
Oh, Chris!
He's
Nice,
here.
you're here. He's awesome. That's
Who's
fantastic.
also helping out.
Yeah, Chris, you need to wave again. Like, I think you need to give Chris some props right now.
Yeah, right there.
Cool. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for coming on by. This is, we love just continuing to engage MoCo folks from all across the county. I love getting to know, Claudia mentioned being a MoCo kid. I love getting to know all the MoCo kids that
It's great.
that I'm connecting with now. And I think it's really important as we talk, me being more of a newcomer to the county, but you having lived here all your life, like, how do we together build a county where all of us can continue to be here and thrive and build our families, and if we want to, for however long we want to stay here, and build up the lives that we want, to really make that possible here.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have an opportunity this cycle in 2018.
Awesome.
Really looking forward to it.
Cool.
All right,
Thank
thanks
you
so
much, Sherry.
Should get off.
No, you're fine. Everybody's like, what do I do now?
Thanks, Harry. And I'm back.
Yeah, she's really back.
Okay.
All right. So, so we're coming to the close of things here. We've had a fantastic phone bank and postcard writing session. And we really want to make sure that you have an opportunity to get involved. You have an opportunity to come out. We're going to be canvassing. We're going to be doing phone banks. We're going to be out at events. There's so many different opportunities. We're going to be mapping stuff. We're going to be analyzing data. We're going to be crunching numbers. So whatever it is that you're interested in doing, whatever you've heard about the range of different issues that we work on in the campaign, and the folks that we're involving, from all sorts of different backgrounds to do that. And we're really excited to continue building our team, our community of supporters, as we close out 2017 and head into 2018.
Yeah, so in this Friend-A-Thon, this live broadcast tonight is the start of, again, this 72 hours roughly of us kind of working towards the end of 2017 and building into 2018. And it's about building connections and reaching out to our friends, family, coworkers, neighbors in Montgomery County and helping them to know more about Brandy, getting excited about the campaign and encouraging them to support Brandy in the ways that they can. And one of the key ways, especially with the public election fund and making sure that Brandy can qualify and win in 2018, is making a donation. And so again, we want to encourage folks to make a donation. You can go to brandyformontgomery.com. That's BRANDY, the number 4, Montgomery.com, and you can make a donation. There's a giant blue donate button.
Yep.
And there we have two options. One, we've been doing a great campaign that's called Donate 2018 to win in 2018. That's donating $20.18 to win in 2018. And so if you can make that donation, that's awesome. We've had so many people contribute that. And so we want to continue to build up that as a great way for people to start engaging with our campaign. And then we have other ways that people can make donations to the campaign. And you can give give up to $150 because we're participating in the public election fund. Because Brandy is one of the candidates participating in that program, she can only accept donations from individuals, no corporations, no PACs, no other groups. It's just individual donors, and it's only up to $150. So give what you can, and if you can give that maximum contribution, that's amazing. But if you can give $5, $20.18, whatever it is, that's also amazing because it's all helping to build our people-powered campaign so that we can go out to the communities, that we can do the things that help us to reach and talk about the issues that Claudia mentioned in terms of working on issues, immigrant rights issues, helping to protect those under DACA and TPS, helping to work on food justice issues and make sure that communities have the ability to that there's cooperatives and that we're growing sustainable food markets, that we have. One of the unique things about Montgomery County, it has one of the largest agricultural reserves.
Absolutely.
And that's unique in this region.
Yeah.
We want to maintain that as a county. How do we do that and also help to show more folks, more people, whether they're living down county or up county, about the way our food is grown and being able to actually have a stronger connection to their food.
Yeah.
That's important. We can do that. Let's figure out how we do that. And you do that in one way, especially in going into 2018 and with our elections, by supporting candidates who understand the connection between food, between housing, between a living wage, all of those issues. And so I just encourage you to check out Brandy, to go again to brandyformontgomery.com to learn about our issues, to make a donation, and to invite and share the information with your friends and invite them to support Brandy. I'll give a final update, but
so let's hear the final update.
Okay, so we've had people who have started to. I think we've had at least 3 or 4 people who've signed up already today to join our to join Brandy from Montgomery to get more information. So thank you all those folks who have signed up and are going to be on our mailing list, and we'll be getting more information. I think our list is growing every day, and we're getting broader in terms of our ability to reach more folks throughout the county. And today we knocked out a few more folks, so we're closer to reaching our goal. We're now we are at 68. We need 68 more donors for Montgomery County. But I actually think that there might have been a couple more donors that came in, so I need to get updated numbers. So we'll have to come back and check this again.
We don't have one of those live boards like they do on PBS, so we're not that fancy yet.
Yeah. So I know that they're still making some calls, so we don't know. So, but that's where we are when I just did a quick update on this. So, but it's exciting that we have people who have been calling, who've been making those donations, and everybody who has contributed to the campaign. Thank you so much. Keep calling, keep making donations, keep inviting people to join our campaign. We again will be live tomorrow at 1 p.m. I believe. I'll double check the time on that, but we'll be live tomorrow, and that's another chance for you to talk to us live and to kind of engage. And we're going to do some more of this. I think tomorrow we're actually going to do more of a Google Hangout tomorrow. So it will be actually a chance for anybody who wants to get on live. We're going to have a Google Hangout, so you'll actually be able to join us via video and chat with Brandy. We had people in the house with us here who were chatting with us, but tomorrow will be a chance for you from Google Hangout to actually join us in video and be part of the conversation. So that will be exciting. And again, it's an opportunity for you to share with your friends, family, neighbors, about what's going on. The other ways that you can do this, again, we mentioned the postcards, and you can send these out to your neighbors and friends, to mail these wonderful postcards to folks and say why you support Brandy and how you're hoping that they'll also support Brandy with a financial contribution, but also to know that she's a great candidate to support in the upcoming Democratic primary on June 26th, 2018. Important date to remember.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, just thank you all, those of you who have come online to watch, folks who may be watching this broadcast later. So folks are waving, folks are getting ready to head out, and we're getting ready to close down the broadcast here. But this is, again, it's just a really exciting time to celebrate all that we've done this year in 2017, to get ourselves ready for 2018. And I want you with us. I want you as part of this movement. I want you as one of our donors. I want you as one of our volunteers. I want you as one of the folks who's helping to spread the word and connect us with more and more people across the county. We've got to reach thousands of folks across Montgomery County, and we can only do that with your support. We need your donation, your $20.18 or more if you're able to give. That's fantastic. And we also need your knowledge, your expertise, and your passion and enthusiasm for making Montgomery County an even better place to live, and making sure that justice and equity are things that are really hallmarks of the everyday life in our county. Making sure that we address all those like down home issues. It goes from potholes to taxes to, like racial justice and all the way on up. And all of those things are part of what we need to be working on and focusing on in order to make this the best place that it can be, to continue the place where we've built our home, where I've built my home with my family, and where all of us are here wanting to make sure that we are thriving and growing and really getting to enjoy all that Montgomery County has to offer. But in order to do that, we need to have folks from every part of this county involved in this movement to make sure that we have the systems, the policies, the government, the representatives that are listening to us, that are listening to our concerns, and that are making sure that our needs and priorities are first and foremost when they're making legislation, when they're setting regulations, and determining what the focus is of our budget, and of all the other things that we do as part of county government. So again, it's so exciting to be part of this movement with you, to be building this out with so many people. We hope that you'll come back and connect with us over the next couple of days for both Friday and Saturday's broadcast online, and then at Mr. Smoothie in Rockville at 2:00 on Sunday, December 31st. Continue to check us out online. Make sure you're on the mailing list. Make sure you're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We post all sorts of fun pictures and updates there. And it's a great way to continue keeping in touch with the opportunities that are available for the campaign.
Yeah, and again, I want to give a shout out to all of our wonderful volunteers that have been here, who have done calls and postcards today. They've been fantastic, and this has been wonderful to be with them for the live broadcast. Thank you to all of those who've been online watching this, and thank you to all those who will be watching this in the future. I hope this will be inspiring for you to help get involved and support Brandy's campaign. Again, the website, brandyformontgomery.com. Visit the website, learn about the platform, and click that giant blue button that says donate today, so that you can help power this campaign and make sure that Brandy can qualify in early 2018 in January. We'd love to qualify in January so that we can move into January with a lot of energy to really help engage on all of these issues that we talked tonight, and many more that really matter to so many people in this community. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we've got an amazing vision for what we can do to transform politics and government in Montgomery County. We want to hear your visions, and we want to be working with you throughout the new year. So with that, have a great evening, and we'll be talking to you again soon.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Either one.